Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning from Massachusetts. I'm going to say hello, but also do a quick check on my laptop to make sure that we're good to go. We have some early birds here, Kwa, Hein, and Julia. Thank you for being among my early birds. If you are also watching, go ahead, type in the chat, tell me where you're from, and also give me a thumbs up to let me know that you can hear me well and see me well. Okay, it's looking good on my laptop, so I'm hoping it's good on your end too. It is Christmas Eve, December 24th. Of course, it's not exactly the eve or the evening right here. It's 9 o'clock in the morning for me in the Boston area. I wonder what time it is for you. For a few of you, you are already in the evening. So if you're celebrating this holiday, thank you for taking time to join me. And if you're not, I'm still happy that you're here so we can take this time towards the end of 2025 and share a little more time together to squeeze in some language practice. So, for Christmas Eve, I love to do activities that are obviously related to Christmas, but whether you celebrate or not, you're still going to get some fun practice out of this. I'm going to share my screen and we'll talk about what we can do together today. I'll also try to keep track of what's going on in the chat. If I miss any questions, just repost and I'll try to do some Q&A time at the end as well. Hey, Ruslan is here. Merry Christmas to you, Ruslan. Hope all is well. Wonderful to have you guys here. I hope you can hear me well. Okay. All right, let me work my magic and see if I can share my screen with you this morning. How's that? Goodness. Outside, I hope you can't hear it. There is a big truck moving by my house. It's very noisy. We had a little bit of snow, and so the snow plows were out to clean the streets. I had someone clean my driveway today. That's nice. Does anyone live where there's snow and you have to shovel or sweep to clear your driveway or your path? Okay, more people are joining. Hello. Is it Danyan? Hello, hello to everyone joining. Okay, good to have you. Wonderful. All right, guys, we are good to go. All right, thank you for being here and Merry Christmas. It is Christmas Eve. Tomorrow is the actual day, but we start celebrating today. December 24th is Christmas Eve on my calendar. And we're going to focus on some holiday tongue twisters just to warm up. I might give you a little bit of holiday trivia, and the focus is going to be on holiday stories. I have a special story that I don't think I've ever shared in the past, so I have a new classic Christmas story to share with you today. And then we're going to, if we have time, I will also review the vocabulary in that story. And I do have my all-time classic, "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," and I would love to squeeze that in if time allows. How does that sound? Okay. I see more people joining. Lucadella. Good to have you all here. Love the stickers. All right, let's warm up, guys. Let's do some pronunciation practice. If you missed it, check out the short. Remember, I have long videos and short videos. One of the recent short videos had holiday tongue twisters. So if you want to practice on your own, you can do so. My recommendation is to listen just one at a time, pause, repeat. You can also get your phone and use your voice recorder, right? Use that recording app and record yourself. Try to be clear and smooth. Don't worry so much about speed, because as the faster you go, the more likely you are to mess up. You can increase the speed as you become more confident, but tongue twisters are like gymnastics for our articulators. We don't normally speak with such difficult sounds in close proximity, but these tongue twisters help us produce those sounds and get used to moving in ways that may not be as familiar to you, because these sounds are particular to English, in this case, American English. Hey, I see Manuel joined. Thank you. Thank you. All right, onward. So here's the first one. And as I said, just look for the recent short holiday tongue twisters, and you can practice some more on your own. Just take a minute or so every day from now until New Year's Eve, and you'll feel your confidence grow. Let me go a little bigger so you can see this. The first one practices KR. I had somebody ask about blends. Consonant blends are when we take two consonant sounds and we put them together, like KR, kr, kr. Listen, crisp Christmas cookies crunch loudly. I want you to understand what you're saying. So make sure you understand the difference between crisp and crunch. Crunch is very noisy, right? Like we can crunch on nuts or maybe popcorn. Potato chips are very crunchy, right? And it's over and over you crunch. It's a noisy type of chewing. Crisp also has a sound, but it's like in a fresh way, right? Not only can cookies be crisp, but perhaps lettuce, right? There's leafy greens that's softer, and then some lettuce breaks nicely and easily when it's fresh. That's crisp lettuce. So crisp is like fresh, and it can break, right? Crisp Christmas cookies crunch loudly. You could say it all in one breath. Crisp Christmas cookies crunch loudly. I think it's easier if you break a little bit, like right here. The subject and the verb. Crisp Christmas cookies crunch loudly. Try that. I see that first question. Oh, I see some suggestions for apps. I don't know what all the acronyms and abbreviations mean. I see a question about one of those. If we have time, we'll look together, but don't have an answer right now. Okay, whoops, didn't mean to do that. All right, let me get out of here. Why is it not allowing me? Isn't that weird? Why am I not able to do this? Okay, wait a second. 1 second. I want to get out of this. Insert. Look, it's making me draw. I don't want to do shapes. No, let's not do that anymore. Delete tool. Okay. Oh my goodness. You know what? Let me twist quick something. It's like really weird. I have to exit for a moment. Come back to my webcam and see what I can do here. That's so funny. Save. And then I have to open up the Word document again. I don't think I can easily use that tool to show you the thought groups, because as soon as I start drawing, it freezes my screen. That's funny. I was practicing with that before. I didn't realize my screen would freeze. Okay, so here we go again. I hope you can see this now. Okay. Okay, next one is BR, br. Try this one. Bright brass bells bring everybody cheer. Again, I'm not going to mark it, but I want you to see that bright brass bells, that's our subject. So just focus on saying the subject nice and smoothly. Bright brass bells. Try that. And follow with the predicate, bring everybody cheer. And we'll put it all together. Again, we have two thought groups. Bright brass bells bring everybody cheer. Try that. Yes, Manuel, it is much easier. If I can give individual feedback, that would be ideal. Unfortunately, I'm not in that position to do that. But what you can do is gain what you can from this practice, right? Focus on what I'm stressing, focus on the thought groups, and focus on speaking each line smoothly. We're going to break it up into one or two thought groups, but you can speak smoothly as you say each of these tongue twisters. Oops, I'm seeing some ads pop up on my end too. Okay. Watch with the BR, the B, your lips come together, brr, and then you move into the R, bright, bright. There's two possibilities for Americans. When we speak American English and we have T at the end, I could pronounce the T, bright, bright brass bells. Or what you might hear is that glottal stop because I have a T before a consonant sound and I'm cutting it off. Here, I have a short video on the glottal stop. If you need to review that, please do. Instead of bright, brass bells, I can say bright, bright. I'm cutting off the vowel sound with a glottal stop. Bright brass bells bring everybody cheer. Good. Let's move on to the next one. DR, d. T and D means the tongue is behind my upper front teeth. It's touching that hard place behind my upper front teeth. That's called the tooth ridge. D. D is a voiced sound. Dr. Snow drifts down like a dream on Christmas Eve. And let me tell you a couple of interesting things happening here. Snow drifts down. I'm pretty much dropping the T here because it is difficult to say F, T, and S together. I can try drifts. But in fast speech, we'd actually might drop that T. Snow drifts down. In fast, relaxed speech, we'd probably drop it. Same thing here. Christmas, we don't pronounce the T. Remember that. Christmas. Christmas. Do not say Christmas. It's Christmas. Christmas. Also, snow drifts down. We actually have our subject and our verb. I'm going to put that prepositional phrase by itself as a thought group. So just say the first three words together smoothly. Snow drifts down. And finish. Like a dream on Christmas Eve. Make sure you're linking like a dream on Christmas Eve. Yes, some of the pronunciation can be difficult. Learn piece by piece. Today, if you get a better grasp on thought groups or stressed words, that's great. Some of you are picking up on the nuances of the consonant sounds, putting them together. BR, DR. Vocabulary-wise, drift. Maybe one of my more advanced viewers out there can help explain drift. How is something drifting? It's a movement. What kind of movement? Snow drifts down. Does it sound harsh or gentle? Does it sound fast or slow? Picture snow falling from the sky. Snow drifts down like a dream on Christmas Eve. Drifts. When snow drifts down, it's moving. It's like floating, right? It floats gently and comes down, drifts down. Once more, snow drifts down like a dream on Christmas Eve. Feel the rhythm? Manuel's moving on to frigid. Who can type the basic word? What does frigid mean? Right? When it's wintertime and there's snow in the air, how would your fingers feel? Especially if you don't have gloves or mittens on. How do they feel? Frigid. And how does the air feel? Frost-filled, right? When it's really cold, you might look at your window and there's a little bit of frost on the glass, a little bit of ice. So frost-filled air, it's icy air, it's cold air. And frigid? Very cold. Yes, we're going back. I see the answers coming in when I asked about drifts. It's a gentle floating. Very good. So these might be two new words for some of you. Drift. To drift is sort of to float. Think about a leaf on water. If there's a stream of water, it might drift down the stream, right? Or a light piece of wood would drift on the water, right? Just like snow drifts down. And frigid, very cold, frigid. My fingers feel frigid in the frost-filled air. Where am I pausing? In the middle. Again, longer prepositional phrases tend to form their own thought group. So we're going to break just before the preposition in. Listen. My fingers feel frigid in the frost-filled air. Try that. More people have just joined us. Good morning, good morning. Jump right in. My fingers feel frigid in the frost-filled air. If you have trouble, break it up, slow it down. My fingers feel frigid in the frost-filled air. Can you say the two thought groups smoothly, connecting the words? Okay. GR might also give us some new vocabulary. Glittery, glittery, glitter and glittery. Here's a hint, glow. So glitter and glow are connected. If something is glittery, it's shiny, right? Something that glows is a soft light, like a little candle would glow. A little light would glow. There can be a strong glow, but glow is gentle. Garlands, like over here, long piece of decoration. We like to use green and red around Christmas time. Notice the double T is going to flap. It will sound like the letter D, D. So in your mind, change those two T's to a D and say glittery. Glittery, that's a flap T. Green, glittery garlands glow. Okay, we're going to say each word. It's a content word, but the stress is on the first I and on that first A here. Green, glittery garlands glow. Take the time and do not confuse GR with GL. We have green and glow. Very different movements with our tongue. Once more, green, glittery garlands glow. Stunning Lad 1 is here. Merry Christmas to you all. Glad you're taking time for some final language practice just before the holidays. Moving on to PR. Promised presents are prettily wrapped in red paper. This is a longer sentence. Because we want to speak clearly and smoothly, we can break it up in 2 or even 3 thought groups. Listen, promised presents. That's our subject. Take your time with the PR. Promised presents. Presents. This T I'm not going to drop. I can say it. One present, many presents. Promised presents. Look at the double T again, just like glittery, we have prettily. In American English, that double T is going to change to a flap T. So in your mind, think of it as a D. Prettily wrapped. Prettily wrapped. Notice that promised and wrapped end in ED. Who knows? Can you think, when I say promised and wrapped, does that ED ending sound like a T? Or does it sound like a D? Promised, wrapped. What does it sound like to you? ED endings could sound like a D or T, but here, how are we pronouncing it? Is it like a T or a D? Who knows? And we'll answer the vocabulary question. Inside this box is a present, and it looks nice, it looks pretty because I wrapped it with pretty paper. So when you wrap something, you cover it, right? You wrap presents, and then they look nice when you give them for Christmas or for a birthday, wrapped. Yes, very good. It is indeed like a T. Very, very good. Okay, because S and P are unvoiced. So S is quiet, it's unvoiced, and P is also quiet. P, 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 unvoiced. That's why the ED ending sounds like a T here. Promised and wrapped. So promised presents are prettily wrapped in red paper. Promised presents are prettily wrapped in red paper. Try 3 thought groups. Go ahead. Stunning lad one. I hope your presents were prettily wrapped. I'm going to try to go faster, but I'm still going to use my 3 thought groups. Promised presents are prettily wrapped in red paper. Super. Okay. And finally, we have TR contrasting with TW. So TR is more tr, tr, tr. Look at my lips, because when I say TW, twa, twa. Very different movements, because W starts inward and moves out. Wa, wa, twa, versus tr. Lights from the traveling train twinkle in the twilight. Some vocabulary here. Twinkle. Perhaps you know the poem we have, like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. So it's a glow is very steady, a steady light, like a candle. It just glows. It shines steadily the whole time. But with stars in the sky, the light changes. It could be strong and then weak, strong and then weak. And it seems like it's going off and on almost. So twinkle is this changing light. Twinkle. Twinkle in the twilight. Twilight, what time of day is that? Who knows? Twilight. Why would it be easy to see train lights? At what time of day is it easy or easier to see lights from a train? Twilight. Twa, twa, twa. There aren't too many words with like twilight, twice. We don't have too many TW combinations. That's what I just asked. So what time of day is twilight? All of you know morning, afternoon, and evening, right? Dawn is early morning. The sun is coming up. And as the sun goes down, oh, twilight. Are you associating that with, I don't know all the stories or the storylines of My Little Pony, but twilight seems to be a sort of romantic time for stories, like movies, books, use this time of day with purpose. Early evening, very good, right? Twilight, like dusk. You might have heard from dusk till dawn or from dawn till dusk, whatever. So dawn is when the sun is coming up. Dusk is when the sun is going down. And twilight is that early evening. So think in twilight, the sky is getting dark and the stars begin to twinkle. This is a long sentence again. We'll break it up into thought groups so that it's easier for us to group our words and say each group smoothly. Lights from the traveling train. You could say lights all by itself or try to put it in with from the traveling train. Lights from the traveling train. Try that. If you need to slow it down. Lights from the traveling train. Twinkle in the twilight. We have 2 content words and 2 little function words. So you want to link and give stress to twinkle and give stress to twilight. Twinkle in the twilight. Let's put it together. Lights from the traveling train twinkle in the twilight. Try that. Okay. Super job, super warm up with all these consonant blends. And I encourage you again, find the short. I just posted it within the past week or so, and you can review the tongue twisters. You'll probably need to pause so that you can listen and repeat after me. I highly encourage you to get your phone, open up that voice recorder app or the voice memo, and record yourself. At first, it is not about speed, okay? It's about speaking clearly. and then aim to speak smoothly. Use your thought groups. And as you grow more confident, then you can speed it up. And if you want to have fun, yes, you can try to go as fast as possible. That's what makes tongue twisters funny. But ultimately, we need to use the tongue twisters for pronunciation practice. And it's all about speaking clearly and smoothly. You want to train your mouth, your lips, your tongue, your jaw to move in ways that are more natural for you, so that clear speech comes out. Okay? How did Mary Poppins come into the conversation? Mary Poppins. I love Mary Poppins. Who else loves Julie Andrews? I know there are other versions of Mary Poppins, but personally, I think Julie Andrews is the ultimate Mary Poppins. Okay. Super job. Are you ready? Are you ready for a story? I'm going to be sharing a story with you from The Gift of the Magi. It's called The Gift of the Magi. It's by an author, an American author, O. Henry, and it was written in 1905. So there's a couple references that, especially with money, it's going to seem outdated, right? Because today, like $1 or $2 doesn't buy you much, but back then it did. And the way that we're going to approach the story is we're going to increase the difficulty. The first thing I want to do is make sure you just understand the story and understand what it's about. So with the help of AI, I have a couple of versions to share with you. Now, I will, in the video description and in the pinned comment, I will share the link because this story is in the public domain, right? Everyone can use it, right? But that original version is more challenging. So what we're going to do is read one version for B1, B2. This is for intermediate. So if you're low, even high, but even low, you'll be fine. Low intermediate, you should understand this. Maybe a couple of new words will come up, we'll address them. After we finish this version, we're going to move to a slightly more challenging version, B2C1. For those of you who feel like, I got this, Jennifer, give it to me. I will give you the link, and what I strongly encourage you to do is read the original story, right? Now that you know what it's about, you'll be able to read the original story and follow along. Yes, there will be new words, but you'll understand the overall story, and you'll probably be able to guess some of those new words from context, and you'll be okay. When you're reading authentic literature, you will come across new words. If you're coming across too many, it's too difficult. You need to find an easier version of it, okay? Oh, more ads are popping up on my end. Okay. Okay. Oh, I see one person knows who Della is. So this is called The Gift of the Magi. You'll hopefully understand the reference by the end, but let's go through. It's about a couple of pages. Simply focus on understanding. Once we're done, we'll go back and look at any new words. If new words come up, note them down, and you can ask in the chat if I don't address them, okay? All right, The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry. Della counted the money on the table again, $1.87. That was all she had saved, and the winter holiday was already here. She wanted to give Jim a gift that would show how deeply she loved him, but the amount felt painfully small. Jim and Della lived in a modest apartment. Life was not easy, but they were proud of what they shared. Della's greatest treasure was her long, shining hair, which fell just below her waist, or fell below her waist. Jim's most valued possession was his grandfather's old watch, something he carried with quiet pride. As Della stood by the window, an idea slowly formed. She put on her coat, wrapped her hair tightly, and hurried down the street. At a small shop, she sold her hair. The money felt heavy in her hand, but her heart was steady. She searched carefully and finally found the perfect gift, a simple, elegant chain for Jim's watch. That evening, Jim came home later than usual. When he saw Della, he stopped. His face showed surprise, then confusion. Her hair was gone. Della rushed to explain, saying it would grow back and that she had done it for him. She handed him the small package with excitement. Jim opened it slowly. Inside was the watch chain. He smiled, but there was a sadness in his eyes. Then he gave Della his gift. When she opened it, her breath caught. Inside were beautiful combs she had admired for months, combs made for long, flowing hair, which she did not have at the present. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then they laughed softly. Their gifts could not be used, at least not now, but that no longer mattered. Each had given up their greatest treasure for the other, Della her hair, and Jim his watch. They sat together that evening, understanding something important. The value of a gift is not in its price or in its usefulness, but in the love and sacrifice behind it. And in that small apartment, their simple life felt richer than ever. Yes, and Manuel's already hinting at his knowledge of the gift of the Magi, wise men, three kings. So there is a religious reference here, but you need to interpret it in a way. Where's the wisdom? What are the gifts, and where's the wisdom? Okay. How was that? Thumbs up. I understood everything, Jennifer. Like I understood most things, or like hopefully none of you are completely lost. This is B1, B2. Again, AI helped me adapt it. I just made a few tweaks to their version. And so we're going to go back now, and I'm going to highlight some vocabulary. Even those advanced viewers out there, and I know there's a few of you, you can always take something from an easier text. Sometimes it's how the words are put together. Words that you know, but are used in interesting combinations. That's what you can note down. So each of you will take notes in a different way. Take note of words that are new, or take note of interesting combinations. Think about count. Some of you can challenge yourselves. What do we count besides money? What else can we count? You can type that. A voice recording. Guys, all of you should have a voice recorder app. For me, I have an iPhone. It's voice memo, but you can also use Vocaroo. I'll put that in the comments once we're done, or someone else can type that for me. A few of you know Vocaroo. I know you do. Vocaroo, Vocaroo. Vocaroo is a free recording app. Okay. You can count money, count time, count your blessings, right? Count. Nice use of the past perfect here. Painfully small. Isn't that an interesting combination? So she had very little money, and she knew it was a small amount. How small? Painfully small. It hurt her to know that she didn't have more so that she could buy a nicer gift. Painfully small. So you took the word pain, painful adjective, painfully adverb. Painfully small. Interesting adverbs. And when you're talking about something that's difficult, think about painful or painfully as a word you can use to describe the situation, right? A painful lack of time, for example, painful. Modest. What would be the opposite of modest? Some of you know this word. Help the ones who don't. A modest apartment. Was it big? Was it small? Was it fancy? Was it simple? Thank you, Stunning Lad One. Count items. Good. Modest. You can understand that if the money she had was a painfully small amount, she lives in a modest apartment. Right? What kind? Very simple. Nothing fancy. No luxuries. All right? Remember, with pride, the adjective is proud. You need the preposition of, proud of. Okay? Most valued possession. Wonderful phrase. Each of you can use that. That's a great phrase to learn, a very good collocation. Most valued possession. What is your most valued possession? We know that things are less important than people, but all of us have something that we really treasure. What do you treasure? What do you value the most? Your most valued possession. I think for me, it might be the piano. My most valued possession is my piano. I also have accordions. My mom's accordion from like the 1950s. I have some accordions that my cousin gave to me too. I don't play them, but they're still valued possessions. But my most valued possession is probably the piano. You can type in the chat, what is your most valued possession? Very good. Yes, the opposite of modest would be posh. Lavish, rich, fancy. So modest, it was small, it was simple. Okay? Most valued possession. Type your example in the comments. Most valued possession. So look at that. We have proud, adjective, pride, noun. Make sure when you learn words, it's helpful to learn the word family. Like we had pain, painful, painfully. How about pride, proud? Look how nicely this is written. Instead of saying she got an idea, she had an idea. Oh, that's very basic. That's like A1, A2. An idea slowly formed. Ooh, that's nice. An idea slowly formed in her head, in her mind. An idea slowly formed. Someone asked about wrapped before, and we talked about wrapped presents. In this situation, she wrapped her hair tightly. So no, she did not use gift wrap, but she probably used a scarf, right? To wrap her head. And then she sold her hair. And she said the author wrote, her heart was steady. Steady. That tells us how she felt. What was her mood? What was she thinking? Her heart was steady. So was her heart going, or was her heart, how was she feeling? Was she nervous? Was she determined? Was she excited? Was she sad? Well, heavy, this does imply it was difficult to sell her hair because that was her most valued possession. But her heart was steady, calm, right? Someone referenced Patreon. Yes, we've done short stories in the past on Patreon. Lots of good learning opportunities in that membership program. This might be a new word for some of you, steady. When your heart is steady, your breathing is steady, or your voice is steady, it's nice and even and calm, steady. Okay? Elegant chain. Nice, elegant. Ooh, right? Not fancy in a like a glittery way, but just very nice. It speaks of quality, and you can tell it's expensive and has good quality, and it looks very nice, elegant, elegant. It has style. Okay. Grow back, excitement. Any other words? Admire, right? Oh, this one I want to say, look at that. All you advanced learners, I know you know the word breath. I know you know the verb catch, but her breath caught. Isn't that an interesting description? Think about it. She opened it and her breath caught. So what was that emotion? What was she feeling when her breath caught? It's a nice way to describe what happened. How was she feeling? Her breath caught. Yes, very good. When you're steady, you're composed, you're in control. If her breath caught, she was surprised, right? Surprised. Okay. Any other words that are coming up for you? But again, I'll read the ending. It's really beautiful. Hold this in mind because we're going to move to a more difficult version. But as long as you understand what the main story is about, you'll be fine. The value of a gift is not in its price or usefulness, but in the love and sacrifice behind it. And in that small apartment, their simple life felt richer than ever. For some of you, sacrifice might be less familiar. More advanced learners, you can type what you understand. When you make a sacrifice, what are you doing? Are you receiving or giving? Sacrifice. Think about what these two did, Della and Jim. Was it about giving, receiving, right? Love and sacrifice. They made sacrifices. They gave things up. They were willing to let go of things they valued for the other person, right? Ooh, I like that, Julia. Calm and collected. Ooh, I like that one too. Taken aback. Beautiful, right? Taken aback. Her breath caught and she was surprised, right? She had admired. She really looked at those combs, thinking they're so beautiful. She admired them and now she had them, but she had no hair, at least for now. Okay. All right. Are you guys ready? Ready? We just read B1, B2. We're going to move up to B2, C1. Okay. How are you feeling? Definitely. Right. Making sacrifices is about giving and also giving up. What are you able to give up for another person? Give up your time, give up your money, give up something so that the other person can benefit. Okay. The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry. Again, 1905. Della spread the coins across the table and counted them with care, though she already knew the result. $1.87. It was hardly enough to buy anything worthy of the season, let alone a gift that could express what Jim meant to her. Their apartment was small and plainly furnished, yet it held a quiet dignity. Life demanded careful choices, but Della and Jim faced it together. Each possessed one thing of deep personal value. Jim carried an old pocket watch passed down through generations, while Della's long, lustrous hair was often admired by strangers and neighbors alike. Standing alone by the window, Della made a decision that frightened her, but felt necessary. She wrapped her hair, put on her coat, and walked quickly through the cold streets. At a modest shop, she exchanged her hair for a small stack of bills. The loss felt immediate, yet the purpose behind it gave her strength. With the money, she searched patiently until she found exactly what she had hoped for: a refined chain that matched Jim's watch perfectly, simple, timeless, and honest. That evening, Jim arrived home quietly. When he saw Della, he froze. His reaction was not anger, but disbelief. She spoke quickly, explaining that her hair would grow back and that she had done it for him alone. Then she placed the wrapped gift into his hands. Jim opened it and looked down at the chain. For a moment, he said nothing. Finally, he smiled, though his eyes betrayed a deeper emotion. He handed Della his own package, made possible by selling his watch. Inside were delicate combs she had admired for months, displayed behind a shop window she passed every day. Combs meant for long hair, hair she no longer had. They laughed then, not out of humor, but understanding. Their gifts had lost their practical value, but something far greater had been revealed. Each had willingly given up what they cherished most for the sake of the other. That night, their apartment felt warmer. They had little money and fewer possessions than before, yet they had gained something rare: proof that love, when sincere, measures itself not by what is kept, but by what is freely given. Sorry you had a cut there, Manuel, on your end. Oh, I love what you wrote before, Manuel. Like, sacrifice is the hard work behind something. Yes, sacrifice is often your work, your effort to make something happen. Thank you for typing all your vocabulary support there. Result, outcome, frightened, scared, timeless, forever, beautiful. Froze still. And Stunning Lad 1 offered us a quick summary of the lesson here. It is better to give than to receive. Beautiful. Okay. Before we go back and discuss some of the words in the second version, here's a challenge. It's called the gift of the Magi. The Magi is a reference to the three kings on the holiday for Christmas, about three kings who traveled to bring gifts, right? If you use the religious context for Christmas, then Christ was born and these three kings came bearing gifts, and they're called the wise men, right? So gift of the Magi here, there's nothing religious so much as where's the wisdom, where's the giving, right? And where's the sacrifice? Which alternative title best captures the central message of the story? What do you think? A, B, C, D, or something else? Okay. When money is not enough, the price of perfect gifts, what love is willing to lose, a holiday gone wrong. I like the summary that Stunning Lad 1 wrote, but that's a sentence form. Think about an alternative title to the story about Della and Jim and their sacrifice. What sounds best to you, A, B, C, or D? Or do you have an alternative? And if you're watching the recording, you have time to think and you can suggest an alternative title. Put it in the chat. All right. I might say something like love at Christmas time, or love is the best gift, maybe. The gift of love. Ooh, I kind of like that one. The gift of love. Or the true meaning of Christmas. That could work. Okay, I'm seeing B. The price of perfect gifts. That sounds kind of not pessimistic, but like, oh, look what price they had to pay. There's no right answer. If I had to choose, I might go with C, right? They loved each other, and that's why they were willing to lose, give up, or sacrifice their most treasured possessions. But I kind of like the gift of love or something, or the gift that cannot be wrapped. Ooh, the gift that cannot be wrapped, right? Meaning, how do you wrap love? The gift that cannot be wrapped. Money can't buy you love and all that. Okay, so now let's go back. We have a little bit of time. If you want to ask specific questions about vocabulary, put it in the chat. I'm going to highlight just a few. And channel members, some of you are here, I will give you a vocabulary quiz based on this version. Okay, so my channel members, after the live stream, will receive follow-up practice. I'll give you a vocabulary quiz on this version, B2C1. Okay, notice the coins were spread across the table, right? Things that we can spread, just like you spread butter on toast, or you can spread a tablecloth across a table. Spread the coins across the table. Instead of carefully, she did so with care, counted them with care. Advanced students, note your alternatives. You can say carefully or with care. It's nice to know synonymous expressions. Okay. It was hardly enough to buy anything worthy of the season. If something's worthy, it's like, it's good enough. Good enough. What would be good enough for Jim, right? She wanted to show him. She wanted to express. When you express, you show, you tell, right? We express our feelings with words, but we can all express our feelings also with actions too. She wanted a gift that would express or show what Jim meant to her. Let's see. Okay, Della Jim. Any words here that are new? How about this one? Lustrous hair. You can imagine that Della had beautiful hair. Della had beautiful hair. So what does lustrous mean? Think about it. What would beautiful hair look like? Lustrous, lustrous, lustrous. Think about the sunlight on her hair, right? How would the sunlight look on such beautiful hair? Shiny, right? Oh, I like the priceless gift, Manuel. I kind of like the word priceless as an alternative title. A priceless gift, the priceless gift. That could work. Fernando, thank you. Shining. So lustrous hair, shiny hair, right? It was clean and beautiful and shiny, but lustrous. Oh, sounds so much nicer. Della had long, lustrous hair. It's also beautiful because all these L's make it sound musical. Della's long, lustrous hair. Very nice. If you're not familiar with alike, play around with that. It's another way of saying that both strangers and neighbors admired her hair. Both strangers and neighbors admired it, or strangers and neighbors alike, meaning both groups. Okay? Wrapped, we know. Modest, we've seen before. And a stack of bills. A stack of bills. What else might we have a stack of? Right? There are ways that we group items together. Bills, we can form a stack, right? It could be a short stack or a very tall stack. We'd all like to see a tall stack of bills. Well, bills in the terms of money, like, dollar bills, not bills like electric bills or utility bills. We don't want to see a lot of those. And actually, most of our bills come electronically these days, right? But this is a small stack of bills, meaning she received money. She received banknotes, stack of bills. Yes, alike means similar. Okay. Stack of what? Stack of books at a library, right? Stack. Anything that you can put one on top of the other. Stack of bills. Okay. Money patiently found. Anything else? Refined chain. Remember from the earlier version, it was an elegant watch, right? Elegant, very nice, of good quality, a refined chain. Something that's refined, look inside, fine, is good. Refined, it's been made with care. It's not simple, it's not crude in any way, it's polished and nice and elegant. So refined and elegant are similar. A refined chain, right? It speaks of quality and style. Timeless, Manuel gave us a meaning before. Like, if something is timeless, it's good forever. It's appropriate and suitable forever, like a timeless song, a timeless classic. This story from 1905 is still being read today, not just by me. I'm sure other teachers in different settings have read this story with students, The Gift of the Magi. It's a timeless classic for the holidays. Okay? Believe. How about disbelief, right? We talked about word families like pain, painful, painfully. How about this one? Believe, belief, disbelief. What does the prefix dis mean? Dis, right? You're not believing, like disappoint. It's something negative, disbelief. His reaction was not anger, but disbelief. He couldn't believe it, right? Her beautiful, lustrous hair was gone. Okay. How about this one? His eyes betrayed a deeper meaning. Can you write that in simple words? How do you understand that phrase? He smiled, but his eyes betrayed a deeper emotion. So his smile was expressing or showing one thing, and his eyes were expressing or showing something different. His eyes betrayed a deeper emotion. What does betray mean here? You can write that in simple words. Incredulous. Very good, Manuel. Difficult to believe. Delicate, good words, right? Combs, if they're not sturdy, and if they're sturdy, they wouldn't break, but delicate, they could break easily. Delicate, fragile, probably very nice, very beautiful, and you have to treat it with care, very carefully, right? Where had she seen them before? In a shop window. And then we have displayed, right? Store windows like to show what you can buy there. They like to display what you can buy there. Still looking for a meaning of betrayed? Double cross, yes. Betray is like reveal something. In this case, his eyes were revealing something different. He was trying to hide something. And his smile was showing one thing, but his eyes couldn't hide some other emotion, something sadder, right? A deeper emotion. The smile was on the surface, but the eyes had that deeper sadness, and they showed that. They revealed that deeper emotion. Oh, I like that. Tender, soft. That's nice. That's nice. That tender's a good word. Okay. Oh, here is revealed. You could actually switch it out if you wanted to. His eyes revealed a deeper emotion, betrayed, right? But betrayed implies that he was trying to hide his sadness and disappointment, but he wasn't completely successful. Okay? Revealed, they discovered something, right? The difference is when you discover, you do it. But revealed, something then showed it to you. I can reveal the answer, or you can discover it on your own. So life revealed something important to these two. It revealed a lesson. Okay? Proof that love, when sincere, measures itself not by what is kept, but by what is freely given. Any other vocabulary that you want to ask about, put in the chat. I think we've covered the most important ones. Disobey. Yes, I'd say, Manuel, make it known for others. Make it known for others. Okay, beautiful job. So now you know the story, the gift of the Magi. And hopefully, even in simple words, you could retell it to someone else. The story of Della and Jim, the gift of the Magi. Okay, we might see, we're running out of time. We only have a couple of minutes, but I hope you enjoyed the twisters. We didn't do the trivia. So actually, maybe that's something we could do right now as we're waiting for others to catch up. I know there's a little bit of a lag when we go live. So maybe I'll do trivia at the very end as I move into the final story, just for a few minutes. But a reminder as we wind down with our final live stream of 2025, there are lots of ways that you can practice with me. First and foremost, here's something that all of you can do. If you are not sure what level you're at, I sometimes use those the CEFR levels for the framework, the Common European Framework of Reference. A1, A2 are beginners, B1, B2 intermediate, C1, C2 advanced. If you would like to know where you are and not just guess, there is now a tool on my website. It's completely free, would only take you 45 seconds. Just scroll to the bottom and find out, and you can take this test multiple times. But I would suggest now at the end of the year or at the very beginning of January, test yourself, and then maybe 6 months later, test again. And this can be a way to see, are you improving? What's your target goal? What is your target goal? Again, that's on my website, englishwithjennifer.com. Scroll to the bottom and you can find out your CEFR level, okay? And it's free, so go ahead and check it out. Members, you will be getting the follow-up task. That's always something I encourage you to do so you can get the most out of this experience. Don't forget there are also short weekly quizzes. I thank you for being a member. If you're not a member yet, do consider membership. It's just one little tiny way to boost your studies here with me, and it is very, very affordable at $1 a month. But you really can get the most practice and feedback when you turn on your camera and turn on your microphone and interact with me. And we do that also with live QA sessions where you can ask your questions live on Patreon. I have yet to find out what our topic is for January. My members are voting now. It could be agreeing and disagreeing. Might be a conversation topic, we'll see. But you do get 75-minute Zoom classes twice a month with those cameras and mics on. Lots of tasks for you to practice with feedback, office hours for live Q&A, community interaction. And we do focus on all skills because I believe in helping you become communicators, strong, confident, effective communicators. So I want you to speak, but also listen, read, write well in English, okay? So we'll announce the topic soon on Patreon. If you visit my webpage, again, on that front page, englishwithjennifer.com, you'll find out more information about the program. So take your test, see where your level is, and on that same page, you can find out about the Patreon program, okay? So I welcome you to check that out, and we are just about out of time. I'm going to check one last time to see if there are any questions. His eyes were saying something. Oh, that's a nice rewrite. Thank you. Stunning Lad 1. Manuel, thank you too for giving your vocabulary support. Okay. If you need to go, I understand. I'm going to stick around just for 2-3 more minutes max, and then I'll say goodbye. I promised some holiday trivia. So I'm going to use my book to inspire my trivia. Who can tell me another name for Santa Claus? Another name for Santa Claus. It's in this book, and it was also in a short video of mine that I titled Who's Who at the North Pole. Another name for Santa Claus. I'll look for that. Thank you so much. Feliz Navidad. Merry Christmas to you, Manuel. But if you stick around for another minute, we'll do some vocabulary trivia. Okay. Another name for Santa Claus. It's in and by the way, if we don't read this now, do know that there is a previous live stream recording to search for it, where I've read 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Today we did Gift of the Magi, but in past years I read The Night Before Christmas. I actually have a couple versions. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Okay. Probably even much more of a classic. I mean, The Gift of the Magi is a classic, but 'Twas the Night Before Christmas is read to children. It's beautiful. Father Christmas, yes. Also, St. Nicholas, St. Nick, right, are also known. Santa Claus is Father Christmas, St. Nicholas, St. Nick, okay. When he comes and he goes around the world, how does he travel? How exactly does he travel? Who helps him? Who helps him? That'll be my last question as we wind down. Who helps Santa get around the world to deliver all his presents? St. Nick, Kris Kringle. Oh, thank you for putting that one down. Kris Kringle. I usually spell Kris Kringle with a K. K-R-I-S. Kris Kringle. Well, Manuel, if you had a magical sleigh like Santa, then you wouldn't need to take that 10-hour flight. So how does Santa come? In his magical sleigh. I don't know if you could see that, but that's his magical sleigh. And his sleigh is pulled by reindeer. It's pulled by reindeer. Okay, so I'm going to read the final page of this story as a way to say goodbye and happy holidays. So Santa Claus, what did he do? He sprang into his sleigh, to his team he gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Okay. Good evening, good afternoon, good night. I wish you all a Merry Christmas if you're celebrating. Happy holidays. I wish you all the very best, not just at the end of 2025, but well into 2026 and beyond. Thank you for joining me. I wish you beautiful holidays, a wonderful start to the new year, and I'll see you in 2026. Take care.